Hi, and welcome again to Meet Our Ex Success Stories. And I'm Brooke, a coach here. And today I am happy to introduce Savvy Brooks, who's going to share with us about her carnivore experience. Hi, Savvy, how are you?
Hi, I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. And thank you for taking the time to share with our listeners what's been going on with you within the diet eating world of carnivore. What brought you to carnivore?
Well, I started keto about 4 years ago, and I originally started because my my dad in 2011 passed away from ALS, and before that, he kind of was him and my grandmother were doing some research, and so he was cleaning up his diet, and it was helping. Unfortunately, he was like doing a lot of vegetables and fruits and juicing and stuff like that. But it was one of the things that made me kind of realize like maybe we should be more careful what we put in our diet. Also, my mom's side of the family has like everybody has type 2 diabetes. My mom right now, she has been getting eye injections because she's going blind.
Wow.
Her teeth she's losing her teeth. So they're decaying, and she's having some issues with her kidneys. And so they want to put her on insulin, but luckily she's listening to me and she's eating better. My grandmother's also, they want to put her on insulin. But yeah, a lot of people in my family have diabetes on a lot of medication. And grandfather has heart problems. I mean, it's just a long list of health problems. So I'm like, I really don't want to be dependent on a lot of medications. And I was having my own personal problems. Like I was overweight, lots of issues with anxiety and depression, just lack of energy, lack of motivation. I was diagnosed with PMDD, which I don't know if you know what that is. It's not very common.
What is that?
It's a premenstrual dysphoric disorder.
Okay.
So it's like severe PMS. You get a lot of physical things, but also mental and emotional. It's very extreme, and it's 2 weeks a month versus a week a month. So I had a lot of issues with relationships with people because I wasn't able to control my mood swings. I actually thought I was bipolar, but I've had a few doctors tell me I'm not. Just chronic UTIs, cavities, constant cavities. I mean, just a lot of stuff.
What were you eating back then?
Fast food, a lot of fast. Taco Bell, Mexican food. I ate out a lot. Pizza. I would eat pizza all the time. Pizza is probably my go-to, my favorite thing in the world to eat. Actually, before I started keto, the night before, I ate an entire pizza and a whole 2-liter of Pepsi to myself. I was like, I'm going on a diet tomorrow. I'm just going to eat all of this. But yeah, I mean, snacks, a lot of chips. It was mostly carbs and sugar.
Yeah. So yeah, fast food and stuff.
Yeah, lots of processed food.
So then you went to keto, and then, keto is such a broad term. So what kind of keto were you doing?
I refer to it as strict keto. However, when I started, I didn't have a lot of information. I had to find it on my own. I feel like now there's so much more information out there at the tips of your fingers. But I really had to do a lot of research. So I spent like an entire week of doing research of like what keto is, the benefits of keto, like how I should meal prep and stuff like that. And I just like threw away everything in my house. I'm like, I don't even want temptation. But I learned a lot of things probably my first couple of months, like, mayonnaise has seed oils in it, and you have to read the ingredients and everything, maltodextrin, dextrose, like you have to learn all these words and what they mean, because like there's so many words for grain, and there's so many words for corn, and there's so many words for sugar, and it's a little overwhelming. So I learned as I went, and just kept cleaning up things in my diet. But, you know, I pretty much was eating like whole food, keto. I'm a big cooker and baker.
Were you eating much meat or protein?
You know, when I started keto, I wasn't meat heavy. I was afraid of meat because a common misconception in the keto community is they tell you, you know, don't eat too much meat. It's going to spike your blood glucose or your insulin. It's going to kick you out of ketosis. So I was really scared to eat too much meat. And then I was having issues with my hair falling out. And I was like, I don't know, maybe I should eat more meat.
Yeah. No, it's true. You know, people can really just, it's such a broad range. You know, you could just eat fat bombs and you're in ketosis.
Yes. Yep. That's something that I did as well. In the beginning, I did make fat bombs. They did, I will say, they did help me with my initial sugar cravings. Yeah, because they were bad. They were bad.
Yeah. And fat bombs are pretty tasty.
Yeah. They're a treat.
They're a treat. So you did that for a few years on keto. So you made it work.
Yeah, so yeah, and like I kind of went into, you know, more whole foods keto and not eating a lot of products. I would say one product I really liked was Rebel ice cream because I felt like it was a treat, but it's pretty clean for keto.
Yeah, it is.
Compared to those things, but yeah.
Although I think that mammoth is even cleaner.
Oh yeah, well, the only problem I have with mammoth is I have a dog and they use xylitol, so it's poisonous to animals. So I'm scared to have it in the house.
There's a little xylitol in it, just a little bit or something. Yeah, and you're okay, good to know. Well, not that I did it anyway, but
Right.
But yeah, okay. So the keto was working for you, and then and for a few years, and then
Yeah, so I was on a lot of medication for my anxiety, my depression, and my PMDD because the anxiety medication that they gave me also was for PMDD, like it treats both. And then I was also on a medication that I would just take when needed, and it was for panic attacks. So I was getting severe panic attacks as well. And it was usually around when I had PMDD. They would become more severe. Like in my sleep, I would wake up, panic attack. Like I wanted to quit my job because I couldn't handle like the stress of, like, I teach for a living in the hair industry, and like having to talk in front of people, it was becoming just overwhelming. But I was like on some of the highest dosages of my medication. I was able to drop down on my medication on keto, but I would find that I would try and quit and I'd have to go back to it because there was something going on that it wasn't gone. It was still there. And then I was like, oh my God, I'm never going to get off this medication ever. So many side effects. You just feel like a zombie, just floating through life.
What was the medication? Remember? I mean, there's so many. I mean, it starts
with an E, something Pram at the end. I can't remember what it's called. And it's a generic version of, I want to say probably like Zoloft or one of those. Yeah, it was a generic brand. I've been off of it now for a while, so I don't remember.
Congratulations. Good for you. There's so many people on anxiety medications. Yeah.
It's so awful. So awful.
Then you started to drop the plants, or were you eating a lot of plants on keto, greens and stuff?
Yeah, I was. It was mostly vegetables. And of course, I was drowning my vegetables in butter and cheese sauce and homemade cheese sauce, of course, and stuff like that. But, you know, it would be like vegetables loaded with fat and then a little bit of meat. Lots of fat bombs.
Yeah, 8 cups of cruciferous vegetables.
Yeah, so in the past, like way before I even knew anything about keto, so I've been on quite a few diets. Most of them all calorie counting, a lot of them like pills and all this stuff. And I did dabble in vegetarian for a little while, and I tried vegan for a hot second, but I was like, no, this is not for me. But, you know, I had this belief for a very long time because I was taught in school, I was taught by my family, everybody. It's like a well-known thing that vegetables and fruits are what's healthy. You know, I used to juice. I did all the juicing things too.
They're
So
saintly. They're
even,
like
yeah,
saint food. The more the
even,
better, the more virtuous you get if the
right.
more vegetables you eat.
Yeah, this is where you're getting your vitamins. This is going to help you lose weight. This is the way to health. And even when I went keto, like just wrapping my head around saturated fat being healthy was crazy. But, you know, I opened my mind and was like, I'm going to give this a try because I'm sick of feeling this way. And like I'm watching my family try everything and they're still on medications. And like, I'm just going to try this and see what happens. What's the worst that could happen? And then from there, it just kind of led me into, well, if saturated fat's not bad, why is meat bad?
Yeah.
Because that's what saturated fat comes from.
Exactly. So the keto worked. You lost some weight. You're on it for a few years. Certain things were good, and then something drew you into carnivore from there.
Yeah. So I had already lost like all my weight. I was in maintenance, but mostly for me, it was still, so the biggest issues I will say is my mental state. It's the anxiety, it's the depression, and the PMDD. When you go through something mentally and you like literally just, there's nothing that you can do to stop it or fix it, and not even medication works half the time, or you have to deal with these other problems to fix it. It's just like, you just feel like it's hopeless. Like, I don't, like, you're just like, how can I live with this for the rest of my life? Like, it's just crazy. But I've just heard of like some other people in the keto community talking about carnivore. I'm like, what? Carnivore? That's so crazy. Just eating meat? What? That can't be good. I don't know. Let me look into this. And then like people, you know, all these people are sharing their stories. Like, yeah, like the what really drew me is there was one guy, and I cannot remember what his name was, but he was talking about how severe his anxiety was and how this is the only thing that he's ever been able to do that got him off medications, and he's able, like, he still has anxiety on occasion, but he's able to control it. Like, it's more of like it's a challenge versus a cripple, you know?
Yeah.
So I was like, why not? What do I have to lose? These medications, hopefully.
Exactly. Yeah. So how did you start? How did you implement it?
I did the same thing I did with keto. I started researching, and I found, so somebody shared this like graph that's like the 3 phases of carnivore, and I don't even know if that's even a thing really, but basically when you start, they said you should do a 30-day elimination diet, so beef, salt, and water, and that's how I started. I would say like the biggest struggle for me on that, because I went from keto, is just giving up coffee. Oh my God. I live in Seattle.
And you don't have to do that. You don't have to give up coffee right away. In fact, when I coach people, I say, don't give up coffee. Just wait.
Yeah, cold turkey is really hard. I live in Seattle area, and like we depend on coffee. Like we don't have a lot of sunshine. Like it's dark all the time. Like there's coffee places everywhere, and it's delicious. So it's really hard. It's an addiction for sure. But yeah, I did give up coffee for almost 2 weeks of the 30 days. And I just, the headache was so severe. I started doing like a little bit of coffee with a lot of water. So like an Americano, and that was fine. So I limit my coffee intake now, but yeah, so I did that, and then started, you know, doing all the other things that people say you should do. So like reintroducing certain things in your diet. And I'm asking all these questions like, do you introduce everything back in your diet, or do you do one thing at a time? How long do you eat it? Like I was just like, I need to know all the answers. So I just started like introducing things back a week at a time, and just seeing like.
When you say introducing things, you mean plants?
No, like other animal-based foods. So like dairy,
eggs and cheese and all that.
All other types of meat. Yeah, I was, you know, I learned a lot about oxalates and stuff like that. So then I was like, okay, so I'm gonna try and get off of plants for a long period of time, just to give my body a chance to see, you know, because when you go through years of your life eating a certain way and putting chemicals in your body, it's not going to be a quick fix. You're not going to go for 3 months and then all of a sudden now you're eating a clean diet and things are, oh, miraculously everything is fixed. Like that's not how it works. Like you can't exercise and then have abs like in a week. Like that's just not how it works, right? It takes time. I know, dang it.
Yeah. So, but how did that feel though when you just dropped the plants? When you were just, how did that feel first for you?
Initially, I was excited because, you know, it's a new challenge for me to fix my anxiety, hopefully, like, and get off medication. And I'm a little bit more of an optimistic person. So I'm like, you know, I'm already keto, like, and I started eating more meat-based keto. So I'm like, I really, you know, I can do this. If I went keto and strict and I haven't cheated once, I could do this. It's not a problem. Yeah.
Yeah, you're savvy.
I'm savvy. So, you know, there were times where it was a little difficult, I would say, because when I get PMDD, like you get the mood swings and you get the cravings and stuff. And yeah, I really just want some ice cream. So every once in a while I'd have some Rebel ice cream, but I was really good about trying to stay away from as much plants as possible. So definitely processed dairy is not my friend. My body just does not like it. I will gain weight easily and inflame. I get a lot of inflammation. My joints start to hurt in my hands. Yeah.
So you avoid cheese and dairy because of that.
So I found out that not all dairy, goat cheese and goat milk. I do goat milk kefir on occasion. I love goat milk kefir. Also give it to my dog. I also do aged raw milk, like fermented or not milk, cheese, sorry.
Yeah, raw cheese.
Yeah. And then A2 cream, I have that on occasion and it doesn't give me any issues.
Okay, so you found some that work for you. Good for you.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
otherwise I'm like, no more cheese. Oh.
What about eggs? Can you eat eggs?
Yes, I can eat eggs, and there's a local grocery store right down the road that sources from local farms, and I get soy-free, corn-free pastured eggs.
Good for you.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have those too. I have chickens that do that for me.
Oh, I would love that. That's the dream.
So good for you is you found dairy that you can eat, and you can eat eggs, and then sounds like you eat lots of different meats, or are you sticking with ruminant meats, or what are you doing?
So I when I initially started carnivore, I just ate whatever meat, like I didn't well, not the 30 days, but after that, but doing more research. So I actually now I try and eat local farm, grass-fed, grass-finished beef. I do add organs into my diet. I'll do like a ground beef mixed with organs, and it's heart, kidney, spleen, and liver. Is
that your butcher that mixes that up for you?
No, I actually order it from Eat Nose to Tail.
Nice.
I like it because it's like I don't have to do anything, and like I make a carnivore chili with it. It's so easy and it's delicious. Pastured bacon. I love bacon, but eating pork that is not pastured is very high in omega-6, and I've found that that actually aggravates my psoriasis, and I get really bad dry skin. And so I've completely switched over to trying to implement as much omega-3 in my diet as possible. So I do eat salmon, wild caught, sustainably caught, fish roe, cod liver oil. I do some shrimp and scallops occasionally. I also love grass-fed lamb. Oh, so delicious.
Yeah, lamb is really great. Yeah. And you can usually get grass-fed lamb.
Yep, it's really easy to find grass-fed lamb.
What about chicken?
Yeah. Chicken, I do pastured chicken only. I won't eat chicken otherwise. Yeah.
Good for you.
Corn and soy free. I annoy the crap out of people when I ask a lot of questions.
Yeah, chicken and pork is good if you can find pastured.
Yeah. Yeah,
Otherwise,
but
yeah.
it's mostly beef and lamb, and fish, because that's, that's easier to get a hold of versus the pastured pork. And it's because of, it's, I guess it's not in high demand or whatever. I don't know. It's more expensive to raise, but it's pastured pork and chicken is very expensive.
Yes, it is. Yeah.
But it's a treat.
Yeah, bacon, bacon is such a tasty
Oh,
thing. Yeah.
so good.
Very good. So it sounds, so when you drop, so what are some of the things that you saw in you, in your life or in your body that got better when you let go of the plants?
Definitely the inflammation, the joint pain, but like I would say, so I started carnivore in April of 2019. And I think I stopped my medication for my anxiety, depression, and PMDD 2 or 3 months after that.
Wow, that's fast.
I haven't needed it since.
Wow, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
I was cleaning out my medicine cabinet the other day, and I was like, oh, I should probably throw these away. They're probably expired.
The anti-anxiety meds.
Yeah, anxiety medication. Yep.
For you, that's so great.
Yeah.
And you didn't even feel like you needed to reserve some just in case.
No.
Wow.
Absolutely not. No, we'll never go back to that. But yeah, I would say like most of my stuff was already kind of handled a lot on keto. I haven't had one UTI since 4 years ago. I haven't had one cavity. I just like my energy level too has changed, but the mental clarity is so different on carnivore. It's ridiculously different from keto and carnivore. Like it was already different from keto, but like I didn't realize that it could even get even more better. Like I went from being like not confident and like kind of terrified to talk to people at work and talking in front of people, and wouldn't take the initiative on projects and just wouldn't really put myself out there. I didn't have the motivation to. And now I feel like I'm just like a go-getter. Like it's made me more like, yeah, I want to do this and like challenge myself. And mentally it's just way different. Like I couldn't even tell you that I would ever be like this. Like if somebody would have asked me when I was younger if I would ever like be this type of a person, I'm like, nope. That'll never be me.
That's great. That's kick-ass. That's really great. I mean, it really just gives you so just give you so much, they fortify you, give you so much nutrient support. I thank the animals every day.
Yeah. Sorry, you cut out just a little bit on that last part. And I think
I was just saying that, the animal food is just so, it's still, can you hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Can you hear me? Okay. The animal food is just so strengthening. It's just so fortifying.
Yeah, and I'll be honest, like I didn't do a lot of exercise in the beginning. But because I work in the salon industry, when things locked down during COVID, we were out of work. We're not cutting anybody's hair. Like they weren't going to allow that. So, now I'm the type of person where I don't like being at home. I don't like doing nothing. I like being productive and feeling needed. And so I started Project at the House, but I started working out every day, and I was surprised. I easily gained muscle. I was like, wow, it's crazy. Yeah.
That's great.
Yeah. So now I'm a bit more lightly active because I'm back at work. So, but definitely need to bump that up a little bit more.
So you were working out at home and gaining muscle.
Yep. Just lifting weights and doing bands and stuff like that. Yeah. Well, yeah, because you can't go to gyms either.
So I actually lost muscle during that whole year that all the gyms were closed. Now they're back on, now they're back open. It's so great.
Yeah. And in California, you guys have been shut down forever.
So, how's your appetite?
Okay, so
Did you hear me?
yeah, can you hear me?
How's your appetite? Am I going, is this going in and out?
It's glitching up just a little bit. Let me see.
So how,
I forgot. Okay.
here ask
A little frozen. Little frozen. Sorry.
That's okay. Tell me more.
Okay, so did hear the appetite part. So my appetite, so I do intermittent fasting naturally. I kind of just am one of those. So I've done fasting in the past with keto a lot, like extended fast, and I've done intermittent fast and all that. Now I kind of just listen to my body, or I will say, for example, like I'm not a big alcohol drinker anymore. That's something I used to do a lot before I changed my diet. I will drink maybe 4 to 5 times a year now. And when I do, I feel awful. So then I will fast to kind of detox a little bit. But I typically do OMAD, but sometimes I do 2 meals a day. And then I eat, all my calories and everything in one sitting.
So when you do, you're full. So when you do 2 meals a day, you start off, your first meal could be what, a steak or something?
If I eat twice a day, that usually means I'm eating like a breakfast. So my go-to is bacon and eggs. Yeah, that's my favorite. I love bacon and eggs.
Nice.
And then a lot of the times I eat either ribeye. Lately, I've been really into porterhouse. I love porterhouse. Oh my God, so good.
It's the best. It's 2 steaks.
So good. I'll put a little bit of grass-fed butter on it, or the raw fermented cheese. I'll put a little bit of the blue cheese crumbles on it. I do a lot of Redmond sea salt. I use that primarily as my electrolytes. I do some electrolyte drops from Keto Chow as well, and magnesium drops. But that's probably the only thing I supplement other than vitamin D3, because I live in Washington. So you just have to, you don't get enough done here. But yeah, lots of ribeye, grass-fed, grass-finished ribeye, porterhouse, brisket. Yeah, I love a good brisket too. It's so fatty.
Sounds great. You're making me hungry. Sounds really good. And what's your family? Have you been able to, what do they think? What's your family think?
Oh my God. So it's like the usual, what everybody says pretty much. Like they just thought, oh my God, you're just nuts. You're just absolutely nuts. My grandmother, I remember my grandmother from my dad's side, and she was pre-diabetic, but she never ended up getting diabetes. But my dad's side doesn't have as many problems, but she got mad at me one time when I was keto, and I hadn't eaten all day, and I scalped a pizza they were eating instead of eating like the dough. She was so mad at me for doing that. She's like, you're wasting food. She's like crazy. But then when I told my grandmother on my mom's side, she's like, oh, that saturated fat is going to clog your arteries, and I'm just worried about your heart. And then it's the kidneys, and then, and I'm like, oh yeah, nobody's worried about me scarfing down bean burritos from Taco Bell all the time, but okay. Yeah, that's cool. Exactly. Don't worry about those donuts for breakfast, those are cool. No, but yeah, when I switched to carnivore, my grandmother was even more concerned about my heart. I'm like, okay, grandma, like I can show you some information. We can have a conversation about it if you want. Oh, I don't want to do that right now. But now she's like, now she knows that I'm like not gonna, like I'm sticking with it. Like it's not just like a quick fix for me. It's not something that I'm just doing temporarily to fix something. Like she's like, okay, you're a little crazy about this, but okay. And then recently she has started asking me about doing keto. So, and then my mom is I've gotten her to be pretty meat heavy keto.
Good. Yeah.
She needs it the most.
Yeah, I think meat heavy keto can work for people. for a long, that it's sustainable.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, she cheats on occasion. I'm like, you need to stop that. You're not doing yourself any favors.
Well, as long as she's eating meat, thank God.
Yeah, she is. Yeah. Yeah. And she agrees with me that like I tell her, some people have told her things like, oh, you should go vegan. I'm like, please don't ever do that. Please don't ever do that.
Well, that's all she needs with her teeth to go vegan.
Yeah, well, her teeth, and then like my grandfather, her dad, like heart problems, all the processed seed oils, because that's in like everything, and I'm just like, please don't.
Yeah, those seed oils, they're and with keto diet, there's lots of nuts and seeds are used a lot.
Yep, that's one thing that I noticed also causes me problems, because after I was carnivore for probably like a year, I started dabbling into peanut butter again. Because I just love it, but it doesn't love me.
It doesn't love you back.
No, it's awful. Oh God, I just feel awful on it. So yeah, psoriasis, everything, just the inflammation from everything is just, it's not good. So I can't do the peanut butter.
Yeah, they say it takes like 2 to 4 years to rid your body of PUFAs.
Yeah. Yeah, and they're literally in everything. And I've actually recently taken them out of my whole like house skincare, everything. So like I got rid of all the chemicals in my house and my cleaning products. I've switched over all my skincare, my makeup. I actually started using this makeup line that's all natural from this lady, and it's a goat milk based. And then I use a lot of lotion that's like tallow, essential oils, very clean.
Does she have a foundation? Does she have a foundation?
Yes.
She does. What's it called? Yeah. What's the foundation called? Milk Fancy.
I found her on Etsy.
Okay, I'll check it out. Because I don't use any PUFA creams, but foundation, it's hard to come by.
It is, and it's like I've been using it now for probably 2 or 3 weeks, and my skin feels so good. I was able to find, because I'm in the professional hair industry, I'm able to find like hair care products that are clean and don't have soy and a bunch of seed oils in them too. So it's been a process. I think you're frozen again. Oh, there you go.
Okay. And also, I don't even use fish oils because I don't.
What was that?
That whole idea of essential. I was saying I don't even use fish oils because of, I don't want polyunsaturated fatty acids.
Yeah.
And the idea of essential.
So cod liver would be a no-go?
I'm not using it.
Yeah.
I'm not using it. I have been before, but now I'm like, no, I'll just eat liver. Yeah. Because I don't, the whole idea of essential fatty acids was another marketing term.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I know that's a little bit of a controversy, but yeah, no,
I'm open-minded. I try and like listen to podcasts and YouTube videos, and I research. I follow a lot of people. So, and there's a lot of contradiction. And I think the biggest thing that everybody can agree on is meat-based is the best. And then I think that people just need to kind of give things a chance and figure out what works and what doesn't work, but also like be open to the research on, if this many people are having problems with something, then it's probably not necessarily the greatest thing. And
I think you're right. That could be meat-based. God, we'll have to make this short now, but I think you're right. I think it could be meat-based, and then you tweak it to make it work however it's going to work for you.
Absolutely.
But as long as you're getting Yeah. Well, it's
Yes.
been really nice visiting with you, Savvy, and finding out your situation and your story and how it's working for you and how you're helping your whole family.
Trying. It's hard.
I
It's a
think that's
process.
great. Yeah, it's a process, but you're helping. So do you have any last words of advice for people who might be considering a carnivore diet?
I mean, what do you have to lose? Like, you've been eating carbs and processed food like for years and you haven't died yet. So why not give yourself a fighting chance and do something that's actually good for your body?
That's perfect. Absolutely. You're good advice. Very nice. Thank you
Thank
again. Thank you,
you.
Savvy.
First, thank you for having me.
Yeah, so nice visiting with you. All right.
You
Carny on.